As you can see, taming the terror bird in its natural habitat is always an easy task, as it is easily lured and captured behind openings that it can escape from. Thank you, terror bird. Now please, die in a fire. So the terror bird is aptly named, but it looks like this one will finally work out. My name is Xaelfas. We're playing Ark Survival Evolved, and this is Hardcore Harry. So as you know, that first failure was one of many. Or at least I hope you must have realized that by now. You see, that was about the third attempt to tame a terror bird. Like I said, very aptly named. I have never had as much difficulty taming anything in the Ark as this. Admittedly, some poor preparation was done by myself, and Harry here was probably getting a little tired of running around the map, chasing the elusive thing. We even had to add a backboard here for ourselves, just to make sure we get in here just right, without breaking the thing open and repairing it every time. We're gonna make sure we know where we're at, gather a bunch of prime meat, and stuff this turkey. Almost up now, guys. I wish I could convey to you the amount of frustration involved, but suffice it to say that Xaelfas got a little stressed out on this one. It took me 4 hours to give up. Yeah, that's right. It took much longer on another day to come back and try to master this bird finally. I would have had one sooner, but unfortunately, you have to remember to take your narcotics with you, kids. In Ark, of course. Exactly. Thank you, Harry. We're going to name this the Lorry Bird, named after a dear family friend who has, for many years, aspired to raise funds to take care of local wildlife, specifically buzzards, as they are her favorite creature in all the land. Or I'm completely making this up, just so that I can lie to you and make you deal with it on a personal basis. But in all seriousness, I am happy to finally have tamed this thing. It took a while. I ran around the mountain and grabbed prime off anything that would drop prime, mostly killing Argentavis in the area, which is your large eagle if you're not familiar, that flies around, usually tearing up faces, early game especially. Awesome Sauce has been doing his job, getting us from one place to another quickly. Even managed to pick up some loot that turned out useless along the way. But this has definitely been a challenge, guys. I don't say that about everything. There are some challenges I faced throughout playing Ark, whether it be not pressing the E key while flying, which by the way will kill you. Thankfully, we're not having to worry about that in this. Kind of looking over my loot and things, making sure we're all set to go. These cannot hold very much weight whatsoever. I'm actually very surprised. There's an Argentavis right there. We don't need to bother. Look at us fly! Alright, guys. Ran all the way back to base. No issues along the way. Nearly got the bird killed a few times. Lori here is not as durable, nor is able to support my girth. Or should I say Harry's girth. All the way tracked back to our, let's call it an outpost, but this is realistically our command base. This is where we're going to be building everything and going from here. Matter of fact, I think it's overdue to try to finish some upgrades here. We need some of these. We're working on, well, we're trying to speed up the way we tame things a little bit. So we're doing the very early stages for kibble farming. And kibble is used to tame your dinos at a 5 times normal rate, which is multiplied by the rate increase that we already have on tames. Very helpful. I tell you what though, we're gonna make some kibble later. Right now it's more about rounding up resources and beginning to get the ones we need. For instance, I'm most interested in taming a Doedicurus, which is basically a large armadillo that will spin and carry you within its shell as it rolls on the ground at times. You turn into Sonic, more or less. And it's high on the agenda. I've just wanted a terror bird because it's the closest thing to legitimate flying I can do on here. Because, as I've said, there won't be any flying. But we will flap our little wings and pretend, won't we, Lori? Yes. Yes, we will. I'm so proud of you. It's a little dark. So here's what we currently have, guys. La Cabine, as it will be dubbed now, was our original starting area. Fording outpost led us halfway here. Command's where we're currently at. And the mountain forge is simply where we're gathering metal. And not just that, but it's definitely more efficient to craft things at the forge and then bring them back with me, since I have no quick, simple means to carry tremendous amounts of weight back to base for crafting. So I set up a crafting station there as well, in case you have not seen before. Here's where we're at. And this is definitely the most useful thing Harry has had in quite some time. We don't get lost anymore. Now let's head forward to the snow biome. We're here for two things. We need oil, which we get from these rocks right here, and we also need silica pearls, which can be gathered from deep in the ocean or in the shallows of this area here. Showing off my mastercraft pick. That's right. We got very lucky on that. Picked that up off of an alpha. Constantly looking for predators around here. A pack of wolves will tear you apart pretty quickly. Faster than a T-Rex would if it ambushed you. If something so loud and terrifying could actually ambush a person. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what I go through to gather basic resources and things at this point. And keep in mind that's a mastercraft. It's one quality short of the best that we can get. Just trying to go and gather as much of this as we can safely and get it back to base with limited weight that awesome sauce provides. Gotta constantly look out for Megalodon down here. You still have to look out for saber-tooths and things like that. They can attack while swimming. Mega piranha are still an issue. I'm not quite sure if it's too obvious that, I'm constantly trying to watch and listen for predators, because out here we are the prey, at least for now. And eventually we may be able to establish a permanent outpost out here, perhaps even in the long game, the permanent base, a replacement for command. Primarily because every major resource is available out here, save for, I don't even know. I think you can gather just about everything out here. But the only things we can gather easily in large quantities, as far as what we can't get elsewhere, are these silica pearls, our stamina that we need right now, and oil that is out here. These nice shiny things are what we're after. It's kind of awesome that you get so many too. Otherwise, we'd be hunting this quite a bit. A lot of my crafting recipes and things like that call for 40, 60, things like that. And we'd like to use these for electronics. You actually use the silica from the pearls, in idea anyway, plus some metal. And it works out pretty good. It's how you step into higher technology tiers in terms of electricity is really what you unlock. Always keeping awesome sauce close by. Constantly worried. I realize it's not really conveyed through the video so well, but this is, I guess the easiest way is simply to tell you. It's the most nerve-wracking when you're in a very hostile environment and fragile. And you feel vulnerable out here. The least awesome sauce ever was that moment right there. Can't see from the screen, but I jumped. It's the only downside to having him on follow when you think a megalodon might be nearby. He's done a fantastic job, though. As far as getting us from A to B, Awesome Sauce has been the way to do that. And we're just going to try and get whatever we can. And the moment we hit a point where we're feeling too frail or there's just too many threats in the immediate area, we're going to get out of here and take what we can back to base. I'm not planning on taking a huge amount of risk out here. I've been skirting the edge of this area, and there are many areas that are far too cold for us in our current armor to survive, but we do have some working for our advantage. So, like I said, just, skirting the outskirts, which obviously makes sense. What else would you be skirting? And gathering oil, things like that, trying to take care of business. We need both of these resources to move forward, and we'll probably need to make several more runs for it. We may potentially wait until we're able to tap the ocean's resources, but I haven't really decided just yet. Either way, this is all going to come in handy. We need to make gas with the oil. We need to do a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out of here and head back to base here shortly, guys. So here we are, dropping everything off, getting the goods where they need to be. Like I said, we're not really ready to use all of these yet, but some saddles use those pearls, electronics. Like I said, moving forward with our technological advancements. That's what we really need. Another good thing about this base, by the way, and its location is that these supply drops hit this area and the immediate vicinity all the time. Give you an idea of where we were earlier. We were in that upper left point. It's not quite clear on my map, but is on my painting up there of the map. Something they added in the game here just a little while back, and it's got some aesthetic appeal, but it's pretty cool. Now, said we need to do some base upgrades and things like that. We're not going to get an awful lot done. I'm not spending tons and tons of time gathering just yet. Like I said, we need a Doedicurus. We need some other, what would you call them? More or less the mules of the base. The things that you need to gather at an efficient rate without changing the whole game. And we finally finished this. This took some time. You saw it in pieces earlier when we were starting to work on our kibble a little bit. And if you're wondering why we're using the citronal, that's primarily used in our kibble that we're determined to use, at least in part, to get a Doedicurus, which, if you're unfamiliar, is how you get rocks. More than that, though, they definitely represented a different change in the game as to how the developers are approaching the dinosaurs and their utilities. Always gathering the loot in base. You kind of have to when it's that convenient. And I do have to say, it's really nice to be able to grab loot from inside your base. It was not at all part of the reason why I chose this location. I simply chose this because of the terrain. And it's also encircled by areas with trees and natural resources that we're going to use to actually turn this little whatever you call that into a building. We're going to go ahead, though. We have now all the ingredients we really need to make kibble. So this is really one of our last steps before we can go ahead and get the Doedicurus. But not just any Doedicurus will do. Now, I'm not going to be so picky as to say it has to be a level 120, but a lot of what I've been seeing in areas that are reasonable to get back to base have been relatively low level and next to useless as a result. I do have to say, though, even with the time we would have left otherwise, we're definitely going to have to save gathering one of these guys up for the next episode. As always, guys, I want to thank you for watching and your continued support of the series. Without viewers, there is no Harry, at least for anyone but me. I do want to apologize for always being so tired whenever I come to talk to y'all. I have less time than oil, silica pearls, stone, metal, thatch, wood, fiber, and anything else that you can think of. But It is always appreciated that you come and spend some time with us. Thanks for watching, y'all. Have a great one. Do 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 do.